Good morning.
Good morning, Doctor.
Okay.
Good morning, Doctor.
Good morning, Doctor.
I will share my screen with you. You'll just tell me if it's okay. Can you see it?
Yes, we can.
Yes, Doctor.
Okay. Let me see who is attending today. Okay, we have Ahmed, Amir, Basil, Pirla, I think. What's that, Pirla?
Hello.
Okay, Rimaz also, Said, Claudia, Laith, في ليث إبراهيم وليث غازي ونتالي. Okay. Anyway, let's start. Okay, you see the screen clearly, you said?
Yes, we can, Doctor.
Okay. What is management? We have finished this yesterday. I think, Pirla, this is your first meeting?
Yes, Doctor.
Okay, try to loud your voice, Pirla. Your voice is very low. Anyway. Try to see why. Okay. We stopped here yesterday. Describe the functions, roles, and skills of managers, which is learning outcome number 3. Okay, guys. We defined management also yesterday. We finished the definition of management. Today we will discuss the functions, the 4 functions, of course, of management. I think you know them. Rimaz, you still remember the 4 functions that we have mentioned before in the first meeting and on the second meeting also?
Yes. I guess
Planning?
managers and middle managers, first-time
No,
managers.
I don't mean the managerial levels. I mean the functions, the 4 functions of management, the well-known 4 functions: planning, organizing, leading, and controlling. Okay, this
Actually,
is what we mean. Yes, this is what we mean. Describe the functions first. We will talk also about the roles of managers and the skills needed for managers. Okay, we'll start first with the description of the 4 functions of management, which is the basic. The 4 function of management is always the basic for any manager and any student also in the Faculty of Business. Okay, there are 3 approaches, as we said. Again, the functions that the managers perform, and we've discussed the roles that the managers have to play, okay, and the skills needed for them. We'll start first with the functions, okay. These are the 4 functions that we talked about before. Today we will discuss it further. First of all, the most important function for any manager is planning. So we plan first. We start always with the function of planning, which means setting up objectives or goals and deciding how best to achieve them. Yani, I have told you now a short definition. Here it's defined as goals, established strategy to achieve goals, developing plans to integrate and coordinate activities. I would like to explain the integration here and coordination of activities. Integration in planning is very important, which means that there should be coordination and communication between the different departments: marketing, production, human resources, finance department, all of them. When you plan anything, there should be coordination and communication, because at the end, what we need to do is to achieve the goals, the corporate goals. I mean, the common objectives of the organization. So if you are a marketing manager and you want to plan for your marketing department, you have to communicate and connect with the production department, for example, because there is interdependency between the two departments. Now, after you plan, planning, it's, as I told you, setting up objectives and deciding how best to achieve them. How best means effectively and efficiently. And we will talk about effectiveness, and I think we differentiate yesterday between effectiveness and efficiency, guys, isn't it? Did we differentiate between them yesterday?
Yes.
In one of the slides?
Yes.
Yes, we did.
Yes, if you remember, effectiveness is goal attainment, goal accomplishment, period. But efficiency, it means to use less inputs in order to achieve the same output. Okay? If you still remember that. Anyway, now after planning, we come now to the second function, which is organizing. Organizing means arranging and structuring work to accomplish organizational goals. And here we are talking about the organizational structure of the organization in general, and of the whole company in general, and the structure also for the particular division or department. Yani after you plan, you know what do you want to achieve, okay, and how you are going to achieve it. Here it comes to organizing. Here you start distributing tasks for individuals to do. Okay, like you guys, when you plan to go for a trip, for example, with your friend, okay, كنتم تطلعوا رحلة أو شيء, you plan first, then after that you organize. After planning, you distribute tasks. انتوا بينكم بين بعض مثلا اذا مجموعه طالعين مشوار او رحله، انت بدك تجيب كذا وانت بدك تجيب كذا وانت بدك تجيب كذا. Okay, this is what we call organizing. Now in companies, we do it within a structure, within a department structure or an organizational structure, if we are talking about the organization as a whole. The third important function, up to now, we did not start yet implementing, by the way. We just plan on paper. Then after that, we organize. Okay, we know who is going to do this and who is going to do that. Okay, in terms of individuals, employees, divisions, departments. Now, leading, here comes the implementation. And working with and through people to accomplish goals. Leading, when the managers, they have the leadership skills in order to know how to work or how to achieve goals through people. If you still remember yesterday, I told you that the manager is a person who can do the work, who can achieve goals through other people. Okay, so this is leading, and we will talk, of course, when we speak of leading, we will speak of directing, we will speak of motivation. You as a leader, as a manager, you have to communicate, you have to open communication channels between your people, your employees, and so on. And the last thing, after implementation, we start now evaluation, which is controlling. Controlling means, as we said yesterday, in order to compare the planned, okay, what you have planned with the actual, with what you have achieved. And you will see the gap or the deviation. Then after that, you have to take the corrective actions. That's why we say controlling is monitoring. Okay, the manager has to do monitoring, comparing, as I told you, comparing what with what? Comparing the planned with the actual. Okay, to see if you are making progress, if you are really achieving your goals, and of course, correcting the work. And this is what I call it corrective actions. Anyway, here again, the four management functions. Guys, the four management functions هيفضل بحياتك كلها. You should always know it. Okay, it's ABC for the for not only for the Faculty of Business, it's ABC now for all faculties at universities. Okay, now planning, we have define it as defining goals and so on. Here again, organizing, then you lead by, if you see under leading, I did talk about motivation a while ago, motivating, leading, and any other actions involved in dealing with people. I will start motivating people to do the work, okay? Because if I don't do that, we cannot achieve really what we have planned. Yani, in the planning stage and in the organizing stage, if you don't have as a manager the leadership skills, then you cannot really implement things and you cannot achieve your goals. And of course, the last thing will be the controlling. Now, all of these four functions will lead to what, guys? Achieving the organization's stated purpose. We mean the main purpose of the organization. Okay, Rimaz?
What was the question?
Saeed? You have question, Rimaz?
No. Thank you.
Okay, Saeed?
Yes, Doctor.
You have any questions, Saeed?
No, Doctor.
Okay. Obaida, Claudia, anybody? If you don't have a question so that I can continue.
No, Doctor.
You have a question? Okay. We will start now with the management roles. We said we are going to discuss under this learning objective three things: the management functions, the manager's roles, what they have to do, that they have to play, and also the skills. Okay, let's start now with the management roles. Roles are specific actions or behaviors expected of a manager. What are the roles that we expect you as a manager to do? If you are a manager, for example, for a certain department, if you are a supervisor, guys, when we speak of management here, as we tackled yesterday, and we cover the three managerial levels, and I think you still remember the three managerial levels. A while ago, your colleague, she talked about it. It's top management level, middle level managers, and we have the first line managers, which we call sometimes functional managers. Okay, now when we talk about roles, we mean all managers, okay, regardless of the level, even though that you are a supervisor, so that you are in you will be in the first line with the non-managerial employees, then you are also practicing the roles of management. So Menziberg, أحد العلماء, identify, it's a very famous one, 10 roles grouped around. Yani there are 10 roles, but these 10 roles are classified or clustered in or grouped in three classifications, three main. عبد الكريم, and so on. If you are in the e-business, Dr. Nasim, and so on.
Doctor,
Also,
Doctor, we
yes.
couldn't hear you maybe
Okay. Here.
for a while. Like from
Okay.
slide 23.
But not. Okay. Did you hear about my examples about the figurehead?
No, we didn't.
Okay.
The
Okay,
last thing
please.
we heard was Mintzberg.
Okay, okay. Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, okay, anyway, Menzberg classified the roles of management under three main categories, as you can see. Interpersonal roles, I will repeat myself. Interpersonal roles, information roles, and decisional roles. Now, as you can see, why is it 10? Because under the interpersonal roles, we have 3 roles for managers that they have to play. Under the informational roles, we have 3 also. Under the decisional roles, we have 4 roles that the manager have to play. I started, when you did not hear me, I started with the interpersonal roles, which is the figure head. It means if you are a manager, then you are the figurehead of your division or your department, and so on. I gave example. If you are an accounting student, then you are in the accounting department. For example, Saeed, for example, who is the figurehead of your department at the faculty?
دكتور الزعبي.
انت business administration معناته, okay?
Yes.
Yes, Dr. Zubi. And he is the leader of that department, okay? And at the same time, he is the liaison. هلا liaison, what does it mean? ضابط اتصال. يعني بجوز لانه liaison هي تقريبا كلمة فرنسية تقريبا. liaison هي ضابط دائما مستخدمة في الكتب اللي هي ضابط اتصال. Now, it's the responsibility, it's the role of the department head as a manager, let's say, to be the figurehead and the leader and the liaison. It means that he has to make sure that he is making a good communication with the other faculty members. For example, if you are in a company, then you should assure the communication between the employees. Now, the second main category for managerial roles is informational roles. The manager should play the role of monitor. He's a monitor. Now, who is controlling? If you are, let's say, a sales manager, okay, or a marketing manager, or a production line manager, then you have to make monitoring for your non-managerial employees, their behavior, their performance, and so on. At the same time, if you are a manager, then you have the role of disseminator. Disseminator means اللي هي it's about what do you call that? You have to, in terms of communication, it's your role to open communication channels between you and your employees and between your employees themselves in order to achieve the goals or the objectives of your division or your department. And at the same time, you are the spokesperson. Okay, if you are a manager, for example, you want to, let's say, to ask for salary increase for your employees in your department, for example, then you will be the spokesperson with the top management in order to be able to negotiate with them. That's why, if you can see, decisional roles, the last one, and the last role in the decisional roles is negotiator. So also the manager will play the role of negotiator in the decisional roles. That's why I mix between the two. So you are the spokesperson. Also under the decisional roles main category, you are also, as a manager, you are the entrepreneur, which means interrيادي بالinnovation, بالcreativity, new ideas, how to, let's say, to improve performance of your non-managerial employees, okay, your followers, I mean. Also, disturbance handler, Okay, disturbance handler means يعني problem solving will conflict between your employees. You are responsible for it. Okay, when we say disturbance, it's like conflict. You are the conflict handler. It's your responsibility to solve problems at your department, at your division, even the personal conflict between your employees. It's your responsibility. Also, your responsibility is, or your role is, the resource allocator. You decide how to allocate your resources, how to allocate, for example, if you have, let's say, at the faculty, for example, or at a certain company in the marketing department, you have financial resources, you have material resources, and you have a human resources. It's your responsibility, it's your role to allocate, تخصيص نسميها الموارد, to allocate those resources. If you want, for example, one of your employees needs a laptop, needs a computer, or any other material, it's your role to decide whether to offer those or to give those equipments or those laptops or those computers and so on. And as I said a while ago, you are also the negotiator internally within your department, at the same time, I mean within the organization, sorry, and you are also the negotiator with the other managers in the other department, and sometimes you are also the negotiator with the top management in order, as I gave you an example, to ask for any benefits or fringe benefits for your employees from top management. It's also your role. Now, the third one that we have, the third thing that we have to discuss with regard to managers, yani we said that we discussed the 4 management functions. We talk about what are the roles that managers have to play, and now what are the skills needed for managers in order to manage their employees and their department effectively and efficiently. You need 3 skills. Guys, since me myself, I studied, okay, business administration when I was your age, these 3 skills are there. I studied also the same 3 main skills. هذول skills معروفات عالميا and still applicable up to now. Any manager in all levels, starting from the first line managers to middle level managers, which we have discussed yesterday, to top managers, should have these 3 skills, which are technical skills. كل مدير لازم يكون عنده الثلاثة, but at different levels. I will discuss it in the next slide how. Technical skills, knowledge and proficiency in a specific field. For example, if you are the general manager of a particular company, okay, then you should have little knowledge, little skills, little technical skills. Yani, suppose that you are not engineer, but you are a manager of a manufacturing company. And in this manufacturing company, you have product lines and you have engineers, and they want to purchase new equipment. You will ask, why do we want to, let's say, replace our equipment? Engineers and technical people, they will start talk about technical things. That's why you as a manager, you should have the minimum knowledge about the technical skills in order to be able to take the right decision whether to purchase or to replace the new equipment, the old equipment or not. Okay, حتى ما حدا يخدعك, يعني بده يكون في عندك شوية في التكنيكال سكيلز, حتى لو ما انت ما كنت فني او ما كنت engineer. This is what I meant. Also, you should have human skills as a manager, the ability to work well with other people. Some people, they are very good at their work, but when we want to select a new manager, a new supervisor for a particular department, we look at those person. We said, for example, Nidal, he's a very good person, he's very active and so on, but ما بصلح يكون مدير. Why? Because he cannot deal with people. He does not have the ability, okay? He does not have the skill, the human skill, how to communicate with people. That's why when we select our managers, we have to make sure that they have the communication skills, the soft skills, how to motivate people, how to work through people, how to deal with them. And this is very important skill for managers. The third important skill for managers is the conceptual skills. هاي بنسميها المهارات الفكرية, by the way. The ability of the manager to think and conceptualize. Conceptualize, you should have a vision. Okay? المدير اللي عنده conceptualization هو اللي بيقدر دائما بيطلع على long term, على long run. How he is going to enhance, how he is going to improve his department or his division. Okay? And he has the ability also to deal with abstract and complex situations. الابستراكت situations يعني السيتويشنز البيور situations اللي هي المجرده, what we call the complex situations. Also when things when your problem has different interrelated factors together, you should be able to solve, to make problem solving. You should be able to have a vision for your department, مش مجرد تسيير أعمال. Okay, you have to look forward, you should have innovation and so on. Now I will show you, but before I show you the next slide, look at the three skills. I would like to ask a question. Okay, I will see who among you has really the idea or has prepared these topics. Look at the three skills. If I ask a question, for example, the technical skills, it is the most important. It is most important for whom? Top
lower
managers?
level managers.
Excellent. Who is this?
Amir.
Amir. Excellent. يعني Amir, he answered the question before I ask it anyway. يعني he understand, I mean, very, very well. Excellent. Technical skills is most important for first line managers or for lower level managers. Hello guys, it is important for all levels, but we are talking now about the level of importance. Okay, Amir. ولا طب نسأل حدا ثاني يا أمير. What do we have? Who would like to answer the next question?
Me, Dr. Claudia.
Claudia. Conceptual skills. It is most important for whom?
Top manager.
Excellent, for top managers. How about human skills? Rimaz, do you have any?
Yeah,
Rimaz?
middle managers.
Middle managers. But guys, don't forget, the three skills, types of skills are needed for all. But now I will show you the next slide. And these are your answers, which were excellent answers. This is the level of importance. You see, conceptual skills, it's most important for top managers. Middle managers, for them is most important human skills, and for the lower level, it's technical skills. Anyway, يلا quick learning. Let's me أنا ما هو مش فاتح الأسماء. Okay. For example, Saeed. Saeed, can you answer the first question?
Yes, Doctor.
If you can. Okay, Saeed, please. Mansberg 10 roles include
The personal information and decision making. A, Doctor?
A, excellent. These are the three main categories. طب سعيد بالله, if I will ask you another question. In the interpersonal, how many roles did we discuss a while ago? In the interpersonal category? Three.
Three, Doctor.
3 roles. In the informational also
Leader.
3 roles. But in the decision making we discuss how many? 4 roles.
4.
So the total The total is 10 roles. But the main roles are, as I told you, the classifications. The 10 roles are grouped or classified into 3 categories. Anyway, very good, very good. Conceptual skills are most important too. We did answer this. وعملنا منه 3 أسئلة. مش هيك؟ Okay. So now conceptual skills. What is the answer, guys? All of you. Letter
Top
C. Top managers. Okay. Anyway. Now let's go to learning outcome number 4. Describe how the manager's job is changing. Okay. And here I will show you what are the expected changes. Maybe I will make it for you. بدي أعرضها لك بشكل أكبر حتى تشوفوها كويس. Is it clear for you guys? Now? I
Yes,
think
yes,
it's clear. Very clear. Okay. Now look at the first column. It's change. What are the expected changes nowadays, especially in our life now? And look about the impact of change. يعني managers, okay, they are affected. Their job, their work is affected by changes. For example, the first one, by the way, is the most important. Guys, COVID-19 with Corona, you notice that most companies, almost all companies, they work with distance, okay, from home, isn't it? So if changing, this is a kind of changing technology, let's say, the way they work. Some people, some managers, for example, if they don't have the skills of working through, let's say, online work and so on from home, then they will have a problem. لأنه one of the changes يعني حتى الكوفيد 19 it's a change. Okay, by the way, إنه إحنا بدل ما نعمل بشركاتنا صرنا نعمل عن بعد. Okay, وبالتالي this will affect the managers. Okay, how I am going to manage my employees and they are at their homes and so on. So this will require new skills from you. Anyway, look at the first change, changing technology. Now, changing technology, how is it going to affect or impact the work of a manager? Shifting organizational boundaries. If we are talking about technology, هلا الباوندري for the company ما عاد داخل الشركة، ما عاد بس البيلدينج، صار الباوندري يمتد. انت ممكن تكون سكان اربد وشركتك في عمان خلال الكورونا وتكون اشتغلت من البيت. So the boundary of your company was what? Okay, bigger and so on, or larger, let's say. Virtual workplaces, and this is اللي هو العمل الافتراضي, and this is what happened really during the corona, the period of the يعني constraints that we had during the coronavirus, especially at the start. Okay, more mobile or mobility of workforce. Now the mobility of workforce changing. Sometimes if you have different geographical area, your workforce, your employees will have a mobility between branches, let's say, and sometimes these branches of your company, it's in different countries with different cultures. So the manager should also will be affected how to manage this mobility. Flexible work, let's say, arrangement, also it's another impact. Empowered employees. What's the meaning of empowering employees? تمكين نسميها, تمكين الموظفين. Nowadays, it's not like before. It's not really, you cannot really use 100% centralization. You have to be decentralized in your decision making. You have to, and we will discuss this, I think, in the chapter of the decision making. We will discuss it further. You have to let your employees participate in decision making. You cannot make all the decision by yourself as a manager, okay, because of the technology, because of the change in technology. Okay, so you have to empower your employees, meaning to give them authority, okay, to delegate authority for them in order to take decision. الwork life and the personal life balance. Guys, with the technology, for example, of working at home, some people find it difficult. I mean, during the COVID-19, some people they find it difficult to balance between their personal life and their work life, isn't it? Because they work at home. And you hear maybe it's sometimes by a joke or something, there are a lot of family problems because of that. So managers also, the changing in technology, it will affect their work life, and it will affect the balance between their work life and personal life. Anyway, another type of changing which will affect also the work of managers, changing security threats like risk management. Now, some managers, the more you are threatened as a company or a department or a division, the more you need more skills in risk management, okay? And to how to make risk analysis, for example, how to be ready with plan A, plan B, plan C for the uncertainty in number two, for the uncertainty in the future, over the future. Of course, if you can see energy sources, the prices, it's really all uncertain. We don't know. Maybe you noticed also during the previous 3 months, for example, you said you see the what happened to the oil prices, for example. This is something that you cannot really control, okay? But you are affected by it as a manager. You are affected if the prices went down for a particular product or service which you are, let's say, working with. And also the structured workplace, discrimination concerns nowadays, discrimination or prejudice between employees. It's very important not to do that. For example, you have to deal with all of your employees as a manager with fairness, okay, especially when it comes to the job security, because we are talking about changing security threats, okay. Globalization's concerns. Now, most companies, they have really to take into consideration the globalization, the global competition, okay, because you know يعني مع what we call that the globalization اللي هي العولمة. Now there are no constraints for any products, imported products from other countries. So your competition is not only local, your competition, whether you like it or not, your competition nowadays is global, okay? Because sometimes if you are really, for example, if you have a factory for making clothes, let's say, البدل الرجالية أو ملابس ستاتية أو whatever, and you have, for example, some imported clothes coming from Italy, and so you cannot compete with them in terms of quality, and it may be with the same price with your product or service. Then this is again, okay, what we call the globalization concerns. Also, the employee assistant is one of them and is affected also. Managers are affected by that. Another important change might be increased emphasis on organizational and managerial ethics. Now, guys, the image of the company is the most important. If you are a customer for a particular company, هلا حتى في United States, Britain, and worldwide, if the company does not really have social responsibility and ethics, this will affect the sales of the company, okay. الناس بيهتموا بالإيمج of the company الآن. مش مهم فقط إنه you are offering me a good quality product with a good price. If I hear that you are, for example, contributing to pollution and so on. So ethics nowadays is very important in evaluating the performance of the company. That's why we talk about redefined values. You know, all companies, they have to revise their values, the value of, as I told you, social responsibility, the value of fairness, the value of, let's say, creativity, the value of innovation. You have to go back to those things. Also, rebuilding trust between. This will affect the manager, how to rebuild the trust, especially إذا سمعة الشركة تأثرت بشيء معين ونشر في الإعلام وفي الجرائد. How to rebuild the trust between the company and the customers, I mean the external environment and the stakeholders, and how also to rebuild the trust between the management and the employees working in the same company. And because of that, in order to assure that everybody is doing his job with good values, with ethics, you have to increase the amount of accountability اللي هي المحاسبة. Okay, because without accountability you cannot assure a good ethics and so on. Also, the increased competitiveness is a very, very important change nowadays. Juan, المنافسة عالية. Competitiveness nowadays is very high. If one of you, for example, decided now to buy a mobile, how many options do you have? Guys, anybody answer? How many options do you have in the market?
10 maybe.
Or more. لا,
Yeah.
how many options? يعني إذا بدك تشتري موبايل أنت, كم في خيارات أمامك? A lot.
A lot.
If you want to buy a laptop and you went to Gardens Street, for example, you want to buy a laptop, how many options do you have?
A lot.
A lot. So the competition is what nowadays?
Strong.
High. Now, because of the high competitiveness, يعني أنا قصدي إنه دائما العرض ماله كثير جدا، فالمنافسين مالهم كثر. والintensity of competitiveness is high. That's why you have this will affect the manager or impact the work of managers by the customer service. How you are going to convince the customers to buy from you by, for example, focusing on the after-sales service as one type of the customer service. For example, innovation. عشان هيك بتشوفوا الآن الايفون والسامسونج شو عم بيسووا. Now في سامسونج هذا الاس 20 الالترا, for example, it has a lot of innovation. Why? Because of the competitiveness. Okay, they work with that. Globalization. I did talk about globalization. I told you you have to face competitiveness not only locally but also globally. Also, the efficiency and productivity, which is a very important point. If you still remember, yesterday we talked about efficiency. By the way, you cannot be productive. يعني we cannot say that Saeed or Imaz or Claudia is very يعني their company. I'm talking about your companies. If you have 3 separated companies, we cannot say about your company that it's very productive unless you have both effectiveness and efficiency at the same time. الشطارة الآن for you as a manager, to try, especially if you are an operation manager, for example, to offer product, okay, a good product with a high quality, with less cost, okay, with less cost. Why? And here it comes the efficiency. Yani you will try to achieve the same output with less inputs, and this is what I talked about yesterday. And all of these, of course, are very important. Now there are importance of customers to the manager's job. What do you think? Customers are important for the manager job or not? Claudia.
Yes, doctor, of course.
Okay, look Claudia at the first one. Customers is what? The reason why your company, your organization exists.
Yes.
يعني لنفرض عندك شركة كلوديا. If you have a company without customers, your company is nothing, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay, so it is very important. So customers are very important for the manager job. How? Managing customer relationship. Now in marketing guys, هلا في شيء بمصطلح هيك بدي اعطيكم اياه. دائما بيحكوا لك بتسمعوا بشيء اسمه CRM. CRM. look here C R وفي الM اللي هي Customer Relationship Management. Now a lot of master students now, they are writing theses in customer relationship management, and the marketing people, especially the marketing managers, they are always talking how to manage their relationship with their customers in order, of course, to have a sustainable competitive advantage. Also, consistent high quality customer service is essential for survival. If you don't have a high quality, a high customer service, whatever is your work, by the way, if it's manufacturing, then you have the after sales service. If it's a service, if you have a hotel, then you have to offer a high quality customer service. If you are a restaurant, the same. Okay, and many jobs require close contact with customers, especially in the service sector, because there is the provider and the customer, they are face to face. Okay, look here, هذا إلك بس يعني أنت تطلع عليها. Look at the Arab countries, role of the service sector in Arab economics. Here they want to show you that the service sector, احنا بنتكلم عن السيرفيس سيكتور اللي هي الهوتels, الريستورانتس, insurance, banks, all of these are service companies. Even universities, by the way, كل teaching and learning institutions. Look, these are the country. Here he will show you the percentage as an example of employment in service. يعني look, take Jordan, for example. Jordan, 79 of our employment in Jordan, not in the manufacturing companies, by the way. It's in the service companies. لأنه احنا ما عندنا صناعات كثير. Okay? It's 79% of the Jordanian, they are employed in service companies. Of course, this will include the government service sector also. Okay? Now, look here, service value added. يعني the contribution of the service sector in Jordan in the GDP في الناتج المحلي gross domestic product, الcontribution المساهمة 66.9. طب شو ظل المانيفاكتشرينج sector? Less. He just want to show you that the relationship with customers in service sector is very important. Also, importance of social media to the manager's job. It's very important. Is it important? Managers need to understand and manage the power and risk of guys. Social media for managers, they have to manage it. You have why managers need to remember that social media is a tool that needs to be managed to be beneficial. Guys, social media, if you are as a manager, you cannot deal with it and you cannot take advantage of the social media. You can really, your image will be affected, especially if there are rumors about the company and so on. So managers should be able to manage the social media. And here again بيعطيك examples لدراسة survey أجري وفرجاك إنه كم طبعا على العرب وورد، هذا كله بتعلق بالعرب. يعني مثلا 54% of Arab respondents، هدول respondents يعني اللي جاوبوا على الاستبيانات هاي اللي عملوها الدراسة عالميا، access the internet from work. يعني most of the employees, they use the internet from the work, 54%. And there are other questions, and you can see the percentages of the Arabs, for example, using net at the work, using the social media, and so on. This is an example to show you the importance of social media for manager. And the last thing, importance of innovation to the manager job. Okay, innovation is very important for you as a manager, guys. If you don't make improvement and innovation, then you will not have any improvement and enhancement. Like Nokia, they did not make innovation in terms of smartphones on the right time at that time. كانوا الأول في المبيعات في الموبايلات قديما، والآن they are late, very late. Why? Because they were not able to make innovations, doing things differently. This is the meaning of innovation. You have to look for new geographical areas اللي هي territorial areas, and taking risks. You have as a manager انت لازم تكون ريسك تيكر، عندك القدرة انك to take risk بعقلانية. we mean the logical risk. Managers should encourage also employees to be aware of and act on opportunities for innovation. We have to encourage all of our employees to offer us ideas, creative ideas, in order to have innovation in our division or department. And this is your job as a manager. And how do Arab countries also score in innovation indicators? I will show it to you here. This is also will show you how Arab countries score. Let's take Jordan also again, 3.9 in innovation, يعني capacity for innovation في الكواليتي. خلينا نروح على العمود الأخير. rank out of 144 countries. شوف والله كم الأردن 41 من 104 رقمها 41 من 144 countries في الانفيشن, which is very good. But look at the highest look at Japan for example, number 4 جابت رقم 4 من 100 على الدراسة على 144 country in terms of innovation. يعني they spend a lot of money as you can see here on research and development. Even Qatar, by the way, Qatar also high, رقمهم 14. Okay, their rank is 14. United Arab Emirates also good, which is 24, and so on. Okay, now we'll take the quick learning review. يلا changes. This is the last thing that we will discuss for today. Changes impacting a manager job include. Who will answer? Who will answer, guys?
Me.
Okay, okay.
All of the above.
All of the above. Increased emphasis on ethics, right? Changing technology, right? Increased competent. Yes, it was included. So your answer is right. Managers need to increasingly use social media. This is Yalla. Yeah, who will answer this? You can. Rimas, Saeed, في باسل, I think.
Yes,
أنا بس.
doctor.
Yes.
Can I? Sorry. Please go.
That's
I think
any one of you. Okay.
to stay informed about the daily news.
To stay informed about the daily news. The other guy, what do you think? Do you agree?
I think it's C, doctor.
Excellent. It's C. To stay connected with customers and employees. Okay.
بس why دكتور يعني بقدر اني اضل اتواصل مع الكاستمر والامبلويز.
We don't care about the daily news. لا هلا حكى daily news. الديلي نيوز
الديلي
تعرف
نيوز عشان يعرف دكتور اخبار الشركات
لا
الثانيه
ما هو لحظه شوي. الديلي نيوز على كل شيء. انتبه على الانسر. يعني الديلي نيوز انا هلا بتصفح السوشيال ميديا بيكون هدف بدي اشوف شو صار في امريكا، مش بالبزنس. انت معي؟ الديلي نيوز والله ممكن النيوز على الميديا، ممكن عفوا على الانترتينمنت، ممكن نيوز على الموفيز، ممكن وات ايفر.
اوكي يعني مش النيوز المحليه اللي خاصه في الشركات الباقيه اللي حواليه.
لا ما هو ما حكاش. هلا هو حكى ديلي نيوز. شو الديلي نيوز؟ الاخبار اليوميه ما هي؟ متنوعه،
شامله كل شيء.
شامل كل شيء حتى على الموضه وعلى اللباس. مش هيك؟ اذا why we advise you to stay connected with customers. customer relationship, don't forget CRM. مش انا شرحت السي ار ام هلا؟ and his employees. okay anyway it's a good try. على فكره اجابتك بالبي انا ما استغربتها، لانه الحيره دائما يعني الطالب بالنسبه للطالب بين بي وبين سي. anyway هي بس بدها شويه الواحد يعني يدقق اكثر في الاجابه. anyway thank you very much guys. we will continue tomorrow. okay
Thank you.
okay thank you. see you tomorrow. thank you for all of you. thank you.
يعطيك العافية دكتور.
الله يعافيكم يا رب. عملت ريكوردينج. كنت حالي مش عامل ريكوردينج.